welcome to Occultists Anonymous, episode 48?
Yep.
So many.
Wow. Yeah, 48.
Episode title, The Last One in Texas.
For Songbird. I'm still in Texas. So yes, as you can see, Songbird...
I'm moving, and it's a lot.
So, Songbird is a messy boy currently, but that is fine. We love him anyways. This show is sponsored by our friends over at Roll20, Onyx Path, and of course viewers like you. We seriously love you guys. You guys are absolutely the best. Thank you for hanging out with us for this long. I know there are some of you who are quiet and you watch our shows and you lurk, and you might not even sub, because believe it or not, on YouTube, half of our viewers sub. The other half don't. We love you anyways. But...
So we got 900 subs.
Yeah, exactly. If you do anything to support the show, we appreciate it. We love you. Thank you. Liking, sharing, subscribing on YouTube, subscribing on Twitch, subscribing on podcasts, which I think we're now up to like 25 subscribers. And I don't give you podcast guys enough of a shout out because I forget about it. Sorry,
hello,
I made
Sarah.
Yes, I'm sorry. I made a face, but you're on the podcast and you couldn't see. I apologize. Thank you guys, all of you, for supporting and joining us. This game is a ton of fun for us, but it's actually a lot more fun because of Discord and comments and all that kind of stuff. It's fun to enjoy it with you, especially those of you who are playing catch up and you talk about a thing and we're like, oh my God, that was such a great thing, wasn't it? Or wasn't it so terrible? But a special shout out to our patrons who support us monetarily. Thank you guys. Alexander, Brandon, Claire, Danny, Giovanni, James, Josh, Cat Feathers, Michael, Loba, Perry, Brian, Samuel, Schmitty, and Thomas. Thank you guys so much for your monetary support. It means a lot to us. We appreciate it. Also, quick little news, in case you have missed it, you've been living under a rock somewhere or something like that. Onyx Path has 2 Kickstarters going on right now that I think might be of interest to you guys. If you're watching this show, I imagine that you like the Chronicles of Darkness at least a little bit. And so they literally just launched yesterday the Deviants, the Renegade, or Renegades, I guess technically, Kickstarter. It is already funded. Already.
Good.
Yay.
Wolverine boys. Rules for them.
Ooh. Anybody else? Was that audio funky for anybody else, or is that just me?
Nope.
Like something banging.
Oh, that might be my wife.
Uh-oh.
What?
You all are sounding funny to me, so hopefully...
You're good to us.
Yeah, you're coming through fine on our end.
Good on my end.
All right. Cool. So Twitch folks, sorry if your audio sounds funny. YouTube guys, your audio is going to sound fine. But yeah, so that is already funded. Get in on that if you want kind of low tier powered characters. There's no vampires ignoring damage and stuff like that, or mages shaping reality. It's a little more low key. Now that said, there is at least one power that basically makes you unkillable. You have to give up a bunch of other stuff for it. Yeah, but you can totally Wolverine it up. There's other stuff for launching weapons out of energy out of you, and cyborgs, and it's got a lot of stuff. And manticores, which are very important because they're like the remade, but they're animals. So you can have little mutant friends that hang out with you. We haven't got to those rules yet, but those previews are available. And then also, because I'm realizing I'm shilling and not actually playing the game, very quickly, there is also the Scarred Lands Creature Collection from for 5e D&D, and that is from Handiworks Games in the Onyx Path, and it's just a big monster collection, lots of art, lots of full page monsters. Looks really, really good. I am thoroughly tempted myself. We'll see in the next week or two. Yeah, if that stuff is of interest to you, check the links and comments and stuff like that. For more, you can go to Kickstarter and just Google it, search it, whatever. As for the game, when we last left, the Cabal had actually kind of met up at the Rookery after a bunch of wacky adventures in Philly. The Grimoire had been dropped off with Hiza for a 1-week stay before it would be returned to the Adamantine Arrow. And that is literally where we pick up, is that night, the Cabal kind of hanging out, having a little downtime. Tensions had been ragged and things are kind of on the upswing. Maybe, I don't know what they're going to do now. So
a little wine, a little scouring.
Yeah.
I've given you all of the mana you can have.
What are you at for mana, by the way?
I have enough to do what I want to do.
Okay, because you can have some back. You gave me a huge infusion, right? Okay.
It's all good. So yeah, we're just, as far as I see it, we're all just kind of chilling and drinking some wine. We talked about some stuff earlier in the night, but maybe some trash TV on in the background.
Mm-hmm. Actually, go ahead.
No, you. So I'm imagining like everybody sort of goes to bed that night. Things are like feeling a little better. In the morning, Wyrd would suggest that we go ahead and grab a coffee somewhere.
Okay.
Sure.
So head to a cafe, table on the sidewalk kind of thing. So in the interests of fostering understanding and bonding, I wanted to talk to you guys about how I see the world and kind of sources of conflict. Because believe me, I know I can be infuriating and very frustrating, but there's reasons for it. And she pulls out a quarter and she starts flipping it. So when I'm flipping this coin, what do you guys see?
A coin being flipped.
Right? In Songbird?
A sphere.
So what I see are billions and billions of possibilities from every coin flip.
Isn't it just 3 though?
Well, most of those possibilities fall into the heads or tails. But even in there, there's a lot of differences. The position of my finger and thumb as I flip the coin, the arc of it as it flies through the air, the angle that it lands in my palm at. All of those are different, even among those large groups. But there's other possibilities too, where I drop the coin and it bounces back and forth a couple times, introducing a little more randomness before it settles on a head or tail. Or I miss the coin and it bounces off my foot and rolls across the street, missing everybody's feet in a crowded sidewalk and falls down the sewer, and we never know what the result is. There's also some possibilities, and she flips the coin again, and it lands right on the edge. Where it lands on an edge.
That's why I said 3.
Right. 1 in 6,000, roughly, depending on the coin. But there's other possibilities too, a little more whimsical, and she flips the coin up high, and while she's talking, this is happening. She says, a clever crow flies along and snatches the coin out of the air in the middle of its flight and takes it back to its nest to decorate it with another shiny. And like while she's describing it, that's happening. And the coin's gone. And there's other grimmer possibilities too. 4 blocks away, a fight breaks out between rival gangs. And at the moment I flip the coin, a stray shot is fired. And it hits my coin in midair and is deflected just enough that it strikes and kills a single mother, leaving her daughter an orphan. Every coin flip sets off a chain of events.
Okay, so stop flipping the coin.
But what I'm trying to get is I can see them all. And what I do is I prune those and shape those so that the future evolves in a way that's beneficial. So when we came in the cafe today, I bought some lady a latte randomly. And I can't tell you why I did that, because I don't know. I just felt that that would be a beneficial result. So here's a possibility, and this is real, that she forgot her wallet. So she came into the cafe and couldn't buy a latte, and she was about to leave, but I gave her one. And because I gave her a latte, she wasn't cranky when she got to work. And because she wasn't cranky when she got to work, her assistant didn't have a terrible day. And because he didn't have a terrible day, he doesn't actually accidentally run a red light later on today. And because he doesn't accidentally run a red light, he doesn't collide with our car on our way to dinner tonight.
But you don't know that.
No, chains of events. And this is the crux of how I attend this, is I don't always see that chain of events. I don't always know that A leads to B to leads to C, but in the moment, I knew that if I bought that lady a latte, it would shape the future in a way that would be beneficial. So Occultists talk a lot about thorns, and that's a very complicated subject, but to grossly oversimplify it, a thorn is a path not taken. If you can go left or right and you choose right, left can become a thorn. As an Acanthus, part of what I do is I prune and shape those thorns, those negative futures. I pinch them off so that the future grows in a way that's beneficial. And I used to do that for myself. I'd go through life and make my life better that way. But since March, I've been doing that for the Rookery. But I don't always know what the chain of events are going to be. So I'm going to be doing random shit. And I'm not going to be able to articulate for you why I'm doing it or what the end result will be. But I'm doing it because it creates situations down the road that are beneficial for us. I might get an urge to go for a walk at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I won't know why, but I know it'll be beneficial. So here's a possibility. Somebody sees me at 4 o'clock in the morning and they get freaked out because I'm spooky. And so they're on guard and cautious. And because they're on guard and cautious, they don't get hurt. And because they don't get hurt, 30 years from now, their granddaughter will provide us a key piece of information or assistance that helps us accomplish a goal that we've set. And I don't know that that's going to happen. But that's how this kind of works.
So like as you're talking, I like reach out and it's like, hey, can I borrow your hand for a second?
Sure.
Atratus, do you want to join in real fast?
Sure.
Okay. And then I roll 7 dice for a spell.
Yep.
Congratulations. Welcome to Abrimos Vision. Just cast Apocalypse.
Sweet.
So, you're welcome to interpret the Aether as you like. It's definitely something new to you. But Songbird sees lots and lots of kind of Nordic trappings on top of cogs and machines and mandalas, just constant patterns and just like symbols of righteousness and of rule and of strength and all these things. And so as you continue to like finish talking about making choices, your thorns, I flip on my mage vision as well, and I start pointing like you're talking about, and I don't deal with fate, but I do know how I see the world, and what you're talking about, Wyrd, is jumping through the gaps in the cogs.
Maybe.
And you have to be careful that you jump through at the right time.
But it's not necessarily jumping through. It's also like making a cog skip a beat. So a tooth
That's
skips.
Not good for the machine.
Well,
like it might benefit you personally, but
us.
What are you doing for everyone else? You're Every time you alter fate to benefit you at some point, or us, you're screwing with other people.
Possibly, yes, and it's
Yeah.
not always possible to predict the outcome in any kind of this whole like the world you see, Songbird, is so orderly,
Yeah.
but and that like this is freaking out Weird out a little bit because
Mhm.
like this is like
That's the point.
antithetical to everything that she understands about how the world works.
Yep.
And there's a lot between the Abrimos and the Acanthus that aren't compatible.
Yeah, you don't like forces. I get it.
And you don't like fate.
I have neutral feelings about fate. I don't like death, and I point over
Yeah.
to Atratus.
Sure.
I mean, most people don't.
So,
But
so like
if
in
you
my head,
look at the lady that you bought the latte for,
sure.
because you made her day better, her crown is a little brighter. Her rubies shine just a bit brighter. And so, yeah, she won't treat her assistant poorly. And he'll ride the ley lines of orderly machination. And he won't hit us when we go to dinner. So what I'm trying to tell you and show you is that we don't see the world opposite.
No,
You don't have to explain and try and, teach us. Oh, teaching is great. You don't have to.
I'm not trying to lecture. I'm trying to foster understanding.
For sure.
So just look around and make sure nobody's listening. When we were in Philly, I saw a large number of futures where Songbird the Hasty triggered a trap. And in most of those, or in a lot of those futures, Songbird died. And in almost every one of the futures where Songbird died, Atratus and Wyrd died.
Sure.
So I set off the trap.
Hold up a sec, guys.
And are we off again?
I can't tell.
No one is saying anything.
Okay. My OBS. Okay, never mind. Sorry, continue.
All right. So I triggered the trap because that pinched off that possibility and created more futures where you and Atratus survived and the Rookery survived. So in a given nexus, the more probabilities or the more possibilities there are, the easier it is to make adjustments. There's a lot of possibilities in this place this morning.
Yep. All right. Sorry, guys. Hurricane Imelda is doing a real wonder on our stuff here. Cat Feathers is pawing at the stream. Back, hopefully. Oh, that's you.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid dark blue text. Pink says buffering through the ad. Hopefully not. Oh.
Okay. So I cast Yeet and the stream died. No, actually I cast Apocalypse and everyone got to look at
Aether Vision.
And we chatted some more.
Yep. Which, if you want to catch up, because we're not going to go over it because that'll be weird to re-say. Yeah. It'll be on YouTube.
Ding.
Weird. Thank you. Yes.
Ding. So like I'm not trying to say that my way is better, or I'm just saying that this is my way. This is how I see the world and how I work my will. But so when you're calling down a lightning bolt or yeeting someone into space, what does that do to the machinery?
It fits.
So why doesn't mine fit?
Because you're altering
the
natural course of things.
I didn't say it didn't.
Okay.
I said you're jumping through the cogs every now and then, and you have to be careful not to get squished.
Absolutely. And sometimes I do get caught.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to say that I'm going to keep doing random stuff, and I'm not going to be able to tell you why I'm doing it because I don't really know all the time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I can see the chain of events, but I'm not always going to be able to know. And I know it's going to be frustrating and probably infuriating, but I'm not. That's just how it works for me.
You still should talk to us before you just like up and leave with
For
no
sure, and
warning,
we
no indication when
talk-
you're coming back, or if your phone is at the bottom of a river.
yes, and we
Like-
talked about that as part of me getting used to being with people.
Yeah, you've got people who kind of depend on you now. You need to communicate.
But I am pruning these thorns to produce a better future for us.
Okay,
That's why
Just-
I'm doing it. That's all.
talk to us before you do these things.
I don't always have the time.
Text. Don't toss
No,
your phone
like-
off a bridge.
Sometimes I don't have warning that this is the effect, like that I need to do something. Sometimes it's a flash of insight. And there's a moment where there's a pivot and I can make the future take a shape
And
one
who's
way.
hasty?
You can still like pull out
This
your
isn't
phone,
about
send
haste.
us a
This
message
is
as you're
about-
leaving the house or whatever. Or well, you're
Sure,
not in our
and-
house anymore, but
And yes, and I will do that as much as I possibly can, but I'm not always going to have the opportunity to. Because sometimes a moment comes and it's just a flash where there's an inflection point and I can shape the future. And if I don't act immediately, that point's gone. And I can still act the future, but so I think about them as nexi. And if there's a lot of possibilities coming out of a particular nexus, it's easy to change. It takes a lot less effort to form the future. The fewer possibilities that come out of a particular nexus, the more energy, effort, the more dramatic the shift has to be in order for me to be able to take effect. So I made an effect this morning. I don't know what's going to be, but it was really easy. I bought somebody a latte, the most mundane of things. I can sometimes see these things without,
Yeah, it could have been a regular cup of coffee.
could have been a regular
Yeah.
cup of coffee.
That
I mean,
would have
also,
been more mundane.
you don't have to see fate to know that that's a nice thing to do. Like, people just do that, normal people, because they
Right,
want to
but-
make someone's day better, because you know that's going to help.
Sure. But my point is I didn't just do it because it was a nice thing to do. I knew it was something that was going to shape the future for us.
Okay.
You don't know it's going to shape the future for us.
But
You know
I
it's
do.
going to shape the future in a good way, in some way.
Yeah, and it's a future that we want to see. And maybe it's shaping the future so that it's harmful for our enemies. Maybe it's shaping the future to keep things out of our way. I don't know how that ends up playing out all the time. That's all. I just wanted to try and give a little bit of insight so that we.
So one of the things about Apocalypse is that it's not just me giving you like Aether vision. It's like you have your arcana under the purview of the Aether. So like you would see fate in an entirely new way right now and time. And
Yeah,
Atratus
which-
would be seeing matter and death in an entirely new way.
Actually, let me pull that up. Because that is one of the cool things from Signs of Sorcery. Let's see here. Visions
Yeah,
of
I'm
Truth.
trying to think what that looks like for me.
Well, that is actually exactly what I'm pulling up. So the Aether, the world of the Abremos. So death has a small hold on the Aether. The end of all things is the purview of the silent angel who yields his secrets only grudgingly to mages.
That's some sound.
Is she ringing a bell?
I
Okay.
think that's
Stirring.
Steve. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Obremos seldom look for his shadow in the glory of their realm. His seal is a mere empty ring, easy to overlook and difficult to glean information from. And though many know his name, God gave no dominion over him to mortal mages. Even calling on him feels faintly blasphemous to the Obremos. Meanwhile, over on Fateville, it is the machine code of the Aether, the conductor that keeps the music of the spheres in time, the word of the gods made manifest. Obrimos see it as a pulsing rhythm or the mark of God upon the subject. They manipulate its power by beating time, singing hymns, or rotating the mandalas into a more auspicious position. Blessings take the form of anointings or coronations, while curses are envisioned as investment in usurpation. So,
What does matter look like?
Oh, of course, just to make it difficult, they moved matter not at the start of the paragraph. In the beginning, God separated the heavens and the earth. It's the root of innumerable creation myths, and to the Obrimos, matter is the first place to stand from which to move the earth. Its angels are powerful and unsubtle. Its signs are the altar and the foundation stone. It is base and profane, yes, but that does not mean it is to be shunned. It is through the base matter of the world that unbalanced energy is filtered and purified. Lightning arcs to earth, fire does not burn stone, and poisoned resonance drains away. So yes, if you guys are ever wondering, you at home are ever wondering about like, hey, what does stuff look like? Science and sorcery. So
really good fluff.
Yeah.
So can I see the angel of death?
I mean, that's more representational, but yes, you both can see the few supernal entities that, are moving out and about. So yeah, you see these, archangels or the seraphim and cherubim of, matter and death and fate
Forces.
And time. Well, yeah, actually, technically you'd see all of them. But yeah, all sorts of different, lots of, all these different things, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, some elderly man passes by and you watch an angel of death, floating along behind this guy.
I mean, I can see those normally though, right?
Well, you would see...
They look different.
They look different now.
You would, because, well, and it's not the same ones, because now you are seeing a seraphim of death or a cherubim of death. So that's going to be somebody with prime and death.
Like how we summoned
or forces and death,
seraphim of space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cherubim of space. But yes.
Cherubim.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, exactly.
Seraphim are the fighty ones.
Yeah. Flaming
more
swords.
fighty.
Yeah. Even more.
I think they're all kind of fighty, aren't they?
Yeah. But yeah, so
Songbird.
And for me, like, this is one of those things that they don't really cover in the book. It's like, well, what happens when you use Apocalypse on somebody else? Because obviously for Songbird, a lot of his stuff has heavy Nordic trappings because that's how he understands prime. For Atratus, I have no problem saying it's probably very like geometric shapes and almost a science kind of feel to everything. I don't necessarily know how. I imagine a lot of Celtic probably kind of look to everything for Wyrd, with stuff like that. But it all follows that shifting mandalas and gears and mechanisms and everything working in time with itself.
So I'm imagining seeing like the mandalas and gears and stuff, and there's like slight imperfections in them or some wiggle room, like they don't mesh perfectly all the time, and that's where fate can work its stuff.
Based off the book, you're literally walking up to one of those gears and
Just
going,
give it a spin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I mean, and one thing I will go ahead and say, everybody go ahead and take an arcane beat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Songbird.
Yeah. Well, it was actually before Apocalypse, just talking about the way you guys see things, just that difference, and the fact that, and I love it because none of you're like, but no, like you guys can, and I'm like, that is the biggest, most mage thing we have ever done. It's like, no, you don't understand. I understand where you're coming from, but you don't understand. Yeah, no, it's perfect. It's
look, I get there's thorns, but look at the angels.
Right. Yeah. And it's one of those things that mostly to put a pin in this for future discussion. But it's one of those things that is very, very hard for all mages to get across to one another. Because even within Obrimos, as an example, you compare Hadramiel and his very classic, angelic, Christian theurgy kind of stuff. And then Songbird, who's like war drums, Nordic, war paint, let's, and vastly different.
Also see everyone in Philly that I scared the fuck out of.
Right. And that's exactly why, because they are all like, while they're all free council and stuff like that, all those Obrimos, they follow the kind of typical trappings and stuff like that. You guys didn't go see it or anything, but like some of those Obrimos are like preachers and pastors and, stuff like that. And they try to lead people to truth. very, very different from Songbird's eye-covered, giant with no wings, and they're going,
What's that?
this says cherubim, right? That's what this cherubim is on the
Right there
label.
on the label. Hello, my name is.
Right. So you guys enjoy a bit of coffee, and I imagine it continues going back and forth. And in summary, yes, we understand weird. You're going to do weird things, but give us a text on the way to do the weird things.
Yeah.
I think is what Atratus is
Or
getting
hey,
across.
tell us after the fact. If it's something you need to do right now, go do it. But then say, hey, I am X, or sorry,
Understood.
can't meet you there because I had to do this thing. It's like, don't just ghost
Gotta
us.
stay awake for a
Sorry,
few days.
like-
I'm in Tijuana. Please,
Yeah.
somebody buy me a ticket. Yeah. So, no, that's good stuff.
Okay.
I've been looking forward to that conversation for a while.
So I think from there, while we're finishing up talking, I shoot Hadramiel an email
Sure.
and like, hey, need some time and some Obrimos thoughts.
Out of character, what are you going to be asking him about?
Jimmie Smalls.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. I meant to throw word over to the Mysterium to keep an eye on him.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like I said, that was last night. And now you're here this morning
Yeah.
having coffee. And if you guys, go your separate ways, perhaps, or what have you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta go report in and debrief probably
Mhm.
after Philly.
Yeah, that's true. You haven't been back. Cool. So yeah, you guys kind of like, okay, it was good coffee, and you guys eventually now, because I realized I've cut the discussion short. Did you guys have plans to go over like sigil sanctimy stuff, or is that going to wait for another time yet?
Nope. They
I think that probably is gonna wait a little while.
Yeah, because we don't have like a.
That's probably like because that's
Cabal
why
sanctum yet.
Songbird suggested the whole like take a week to figure our stuff out,
Mhm.
and then
Yep.
we like have that conversation later.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily need to have a cabal sanctum. It is a-okay to be
Right.
like, this is our territory. South Manhattan is ours, and Lower Manhattan, and this is ours. And the fact that you guys might have separate sanctums, you might have multiple. Because bear in mind, the way the sanctum is designed and set up, it is conducive to one thing or another. So if you guys, I know you talked about in Discord, want to have your crafting prime and matter place, that's terrific. But when you go, okay, I'm going to do some death stuff, this is not the place to do it. So that's one of those things. You guys having eventually multiple sanctums or something like that is totally cool. So cool. Well, we will pick up then real quick, because I know Hadramiel off the top of my head real quick. He will basically text you back or email you back and say actually, what day is it?
It's
Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Let's see. It was Friday.
Wednesday now.
Fight.
We went to Philly on Monday.
Oh,
We
yeah.
came back on Tuesday. It's
Yep.
now Wednesday.
Yep. So no, Hadramiel says, my schedule is clear. Call me whenever and then give you a phone number.
So yeah, I guess I'll call him while walking.
Okay.
And like take a long walk before like hopping on the subway to go up to the foundry or whatever.
Okay, cool. Hello, Songbird.
Hey, Kajamiel. Figured I should talk to you about this. Since you are our counselor and whatnot,
Mhm.
head of Brimos of the New York Concilium and whatnot.
Sure.
My friend is going to awaken, or
Okay.
at least there is a good chance of it.
Sure. And I believe the term you might use is that, he's, what's the term? Hang on. I got the book right here. Awakening. What is the silly term? Prospect. Yeah, he is a prospect for awakening. So,
Capital
but yes.
P prospect.
Oh, and did your Acanthus friend figure this out, or?
No, I checked up on him.
Mhm.
He's been being a bit of a creeper, actually, investigating, and well, he was following our werewolf friends for a while, and that was going to not end well. So I was trying to sort of steer him away from being mauled by werewolves, which is, again, I still can't get over some of the sentences that I have to say these days.
Right, you're definitely getting some weird looks as people like you walk by and what did he say?
It's
werewolves?
a show on Netflix. I don't know. But I got back from Philadelphia, and he wouldn't even talk on the phone. He begged me to come meet him in person, and then when I got there, he was describing being followed or haunted or something. And sure enough, there was what I guess to be a scrying spell upon him.
You see,
and whoever had cast this spell, their obsession, their desire, their reasoning for casting this spell was to get inside of a lustrum.
Do we know if your friend is involved with one of the Silver Letter Cryptopolis or the Guardian's Labyrinth? I don't know that the Guardians would ever tell you necessarily, but...
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, I will check... are you comfortable sharing your friend's name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is his name?
Jimmie Smalls.
Okay, I will ask around among the Silver Letter surreptitiously, but that's all right. I will leave you to speak for the Guardians.
Whoever this mage was
not wise.
Not wise.
Okay.
On the way down, as it were.
With an obsession like that, I can believe it. All right, I will spread the word, and I will see what I can do. Are you looking after your friend now, or?
I'll be checking up on him. I dispelled the spell, which, for the best immediately, and he's protected by one of my wards now. Okay.
But yeah, I would not let your friend too far out of your sight. Just well, metaphorically speaking, he can't be with you all the time. But yeah, check in on him, and if that scrying returns and has gotten through your ward, that'll probably be something we need to be concerned about.
Very well.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll see you at the council meeting, I guess.
Yeah, I'll see you Friday. Wyrd, did you have anything you're going to go do?
I wanted to soak up a little bit of mana and work on my buddy.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So go ahead.
Lewis Hamilton.
Swing on by the Leaf Theater. Go ahead and roll your not oblation. Well, I guess it is technically an oblation. Resolve plus composure? That's not it. Is it? I can't ever remember. Not under magic. It's under Through Awakened.
Gnosis plus composure?
I think that's it. The Awakening merits mana. Where is mana? Gnosis plus composure.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
So that's an hour?
Mm-hmm. Hour that you're hanging out, trying to concentrate at the theater.
Yeah, I don't want to be too obvious, so I'm going to go talk to Lewis Hamilton.
Sure. And I'm sure he said hi as you came in, and you're like, hey, yeah, I'll be with you in a little bit, kind of thing. At this point, especially since, did you guys get up at Atratus morning or Songbird morning for coffee?
Probably split the difference.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was probably 9 when we headed out.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's probably about 10:30 that that you're there at the theater. So yeah, your theater nerds are not there yet.
Sure.
But yeah, so Lewis comes out, and here and amongst the people, you can see that the cleaning crew that he had talked about have definitely come through. Stuff is neatened up in places. Like the props and costumes are a complete mess, however they had been left. But you notice like a vacuum has definitely come through like the main theater area and some stuff like that. It's definitely like, you can tell that Lewis has probably started this service, or they don't come very often.
Okay.
And so yeah, there's a lot of cleanup, and it's like, ooh, this already looks better. Less dust, squeaky clean, windows and glass and stuff like that. But yeah, he comes out, looking spiffy in his tweed. Which, by the way, if you missed it, I did post his picture. Well, my envisioning of him, not actual Lewis Hamilton, in Discord. So if you're not on Discord, come join. Anyways, and so he comes over. Oh, Moira, it is good to see you. You're getting an early start. They usually don't show up until a little bit after they decide to have lunch.
Sure. I had a bit of a meeting that I thought I'd stop by and just say hi and check in and see how it's going.
Good. Yeah, no, it's going well, and you can see he's got a small little oh my gosh, tablet that he's kind of poking stuff at, and poke. Okay, now it works. A little bit dated, but he's got his stuff on that. But he's like, oh yeah, no, it's been going well. I'm looking forward to this performance. Hopefully we can put it on soon, and they feel comfortable and ready for it. This full run through will be a real show, I think.
It certainly will. So I'm still trying to get unrestricted access to the theater. So I produced a carnation for his buttonhole. Say, hey, there was a flower shop on the way here on the street. I just picked one up for you. I thought you might like it.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And kind of tucks it in. And what are you trying to roll there?
So figure presence and persuasion.
Yeah. Absolutely.
4 successes.
Oh, you knew that well before it even popped up in my ears. That's pretty funny. So as I pull up my storyteller notes, Lewis, kind of smiles. He's kind of adjusting the little flower, and he's one thing I wanted to talk to you about, Moira, if you're going to be doing this kind of stuff, and if you're holding meetings, was that related to the Leaf Theater?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's one of the reasons we've got the folks in cleaning is there's an old office. Right now it's just holding a bunch of old files, like old plays and scripts and stuff like that. But
so my eyes go big and they're kind of shiny.
Yeah. And so I'm just going to clear it out. It doesn't have any furniture in it, but you're welcome to bring stuff in. I'm sure the players will help you move it in or whatever. But yeah, it's a small little room, but it's a little place where you can just to put some stuff. And I guess if you need to hold meetings, we can get a phone in there or something like that, so you can have a little spot.
That's awesome. Well, I'm just beside myself. Like I'm pretending like I'm beside myself.
Sure.
Is there any way I could get a key?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he's and pulls off of his key ring and hands you this that very nice newly done.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's it's like I think that's going to work. I'll admit, still a little hesitant about this. Our deal still stands. This is kind of still a temporary thing, but I think I can trust you enough with a key and a small room.
So I interrupt him now with a big hug. Ready or not, here it comes.
Yeah, and he kind of pulls up, and he like his arms fling out to the side, and he's got his cane. He's like, okay,
thank you so much, and I give him a kiss on the cheek.
Well, okay. Let's just not tell the missus about that. But no, that's good, Brian. It takes a good, comfortable. Let's reestablish some boundaries here.
Sure, yeah.
Space. But Nazi's like, no, this is good. I'm excited. If nothing else, like I said, I'm happy that a real play is being put on, even as ridiculous as this is going to be, I'm looking forward to it. And that said, my office is still locked. All my important stuff is in there. If I happen to find anybody in there, I will beat them senseless. And he kind of whips the cane up and kind of waggles it in the air a little bit. He's got a grin on his face, but he's dead serious.
Yeah, and he's like, and if that happens, I'll help you hold the cane.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay.
Good. And kind of reaches and shakes your hand. This will be a good partnership,
Absolutely.
Now, if you don't mind, and wanders off with his.
Yep. So I'm going to head into my new office.
Right. Which, you find, and he was not kidding. It is a small space. It's maybe 10 by 10.
Don't care.
Right. But it is clean. You can see the old hardwoods have been kind of like waxed and shined and whatever you do to hardwood floors. Waxed, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And it's clean and neat, and it's got a window, and you pull the window up and you were looking right at the brick
wall.
right. And it's like
awesome.
But light comes in. But
that's everything I could have ever wanted in a tiny little space. Can I still access the Hallow from here?
I think so. Yeah.
So while I'm, making it sound like I'm busy in there, I want to give another go at it and see.
Sure. And do this. Okay.
Nope. Okay.
Yep.
Not my day today.
Yep.
All right. So that's secured. I'm good. I'm going to hang out there for a little while and then head back later.
Sit on your bare floor and just be like, think of all the possibilities. Cool.
I'm planning where I'm going to put my witchy decorations.
Right. Yeah. Cool. And then Atratus, did you have plans for the day? Once they go off, it's still early.
I did want to call up Ate and ask her, give her a heads up about Jimmie. Because basically that's kind of what she does, is she goes and finds new people who are hinting at awakening and helps them.
She's a hang on here, let me pull the book back up. Yes, no, there's a term they have for the folks who study awakenings. Alethians, is that it? I can't quite zoom enhance. Yes, Alethians. And they're people who study awakenings. That totally makes sense, especially with Ate's background previously, that she is totally an Alethian. So she picks up the phone and, Atratus, nice to hear from you. How was Philly?
It was fun. It was eventful.
We're going to have discussions on what Atratus considers fun. She does good. Yes, Kiza has been absolutely obsessed. He has a constant stream of Mastigos in and out of his office. So apparently you brought him something very, very nice. But I don't think you called me about that. What can I do for you?
Well, one of my cabal mates has a friend who is on the road to awakening. And he is being hunted.
Oh. And this is a voice you have heard before. This is Ate's mama bear voice. And she's like, okay.
He had someone scrying on him. Songbird dispelled the spell, but someone is, what is it?
I have a signature nimbus.
Yeah, we know his nimbus. It's the sense of being hunted. So I wanted to know if we could sort of keep an eye on him.
Absolutely. Do you know where he is? Well, is he Mysterium, kind of membership, or
maybe he's been.
Honestly, he's got potential for Mysterium for sure.
He's been looking into things that he finds weird. Kind of almost got himself in trouble with the werewolves because he thought that was something really interesting and unusual that he needed to get to the bottom of. So,
did he know they were werewolves?
No.
Okay.
He knew there was something strange about them and proceeded to attempt to stalk werewolves and follow them home. And I think we dissuaded him from that. Yeah, okay. He's been turned away from that, but he is now being stalked.
himself. Okay, well, I mean, I appreciate the irony. Okay. Text me whatever information you have on him, his name, if you got a picture of him or anything like that, and I'll talk to some of the other Alethians, and we'll see if we can keep an eye on him, and I don't know, we'll stalk him ourselves, and we'll just have a whole bunch of people stalking him, and we'll be ready to defend him or something.
Yeah, see if you can find who's after him.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
keep him
we
safe
don't
from
want
who's after him.
right. Yeah, we don't want anybody messing around. But to be honest, this is your territory, so we can help where we can. But this is kind of your show. This is your territory, so we'll back you up and we'll provide what we can. But it's kind of your responsibility.
I mean, do you have any advice on how we can protect him? Like, Songbird put a ward on him beyond just moving him into our house, but that's not safe.
No, I would keep him at arm's reach, but just arm's reach, and keep him where you know he is. Putting a ward on him is probably a good idea. And you yourself, you're a you're a Moros. You can potentially do stuff with death. Kind of tuck his little shiny little soul under a bushel, so to speak, and kind of hide any potential, maybe. At least that way he doesn't stand out and draw more attention.
Will suppress aura do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, he would just be very mundane looking. Notably, he would appear as a sleeper, and which, should he actually awaken, that is going to be a very, very handy spell, because everybody's going to know, dinner bell is going to be ringing effectively.
But they won't be able to find him.
Hopefully he won't stand out. Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad idea.
Yep. Yeah, that is just DM going, hey, there is this spell.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ate says, and if you want to go ahead and roll status, basically asking a favor.
That's just one die.
If you only have the one, yep. It's hard to ask for stuff when you're low on the totem pole. Okay. Yeah. So she'll basically be doing the bare minimum, effectively. But yeah, she'll look into it, and especially it is her thing. So as an order, they're not necessarily going to do something. Ate, though, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna get involved in this a little bit. Okay. So yeah. Cool. Was there anything else you were going to talk to Ate about?
Yeah, I've also been wanting to meet up with some Moros. Do we have any around in the Mysterium?
Yes.
Put you on the spot. Make one.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, before this started, I was like, yeah, here's the Moros counselor. She's free counsel. You should go meet up with her. No, says Atratus. I want the Mysterium Moros.
Why would I meet up with a free council person I've never met, and I don't know anyone in the free council?
Because she's your counselor.
Technically, yeah, she is a counselor. So it is a person.
She's your Hadramiel.
Right. But that said, I totally understand.
Hadramiel until you ask someone else for him.
Right. And Hadramiel, let me pull this up real quick. Concilium, because these are there it goes. Oh, I love Conca. Links all this stuff up really nicely. But yeah, all the counselors are 100% you guys know their names. So Factory, Hadramiel, Hiza, Moonkeeper, who. Seriously, go meet with Moonkeeper. You're driving me
absolutely 15-year-old.
Driving me nuts. And then and then Pip.
Which is she?
She's the Thyrsus.
Okay.
Yeah, she and Red Dread are good buddies. Not like that. Get your mind out of the gutter. But yeah. Oh yeah, Maya Hensley. There she is. But yeah, so Factory is a name you would know. That said, if you were looking for somebody in the Mysterium,
I just still looking for someone to chat with and work on I want to look into making things.
And
I want to find someone who can give me a little bit of guidance on that, because the people I've been talking to the most are not even remotely into that.
Yeah.
I mean, besides you.
Right. Yeah. So now you guys get to watch as this is how Drew makes
Lonham creates a character from
live
scratch,
on stream,
live and on the internet.
I think we have a show for that. I think it's Wednesday nights behind the screen. It's on Onyx Path. You can go watch it there instead of here. But yes, she's like, no, that's fine. Yeah, Shader. Shadhur. You shot her. Would probably be more than willing to chat with you. She's around the building fairly often, around the Athenaeum, but yeah, her focus is on ghosts. So I'm sure you guys have plenty that you could talk about. And she goes, and that Phantasm Society, you might let her know about that, because I'm sure she would love to go meet with them.
Sure, sounds good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
Songbird has 100% forgotten about them.
Yeah, I have no doubt. Like the death people, who cares?
We went to their
Please
party.
tell
You
me.
see Sarah.
Yeah, I saw Sarah's fucking tiptoeing.
After winning a jackhammer, now she's tiptoeing. It's hilarious.
After the tea, we appreciate that, Sarah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay,
so
I'll head on over to the Athenaeum then.
Sure. Yeah, you spend little while probably just kind of walking through the stacks and stuff like that. Next time you guys go steal something, we're gonna call up Sarah, and she's gonna be our official seeker. For those of you on the podcast, that was Chris's Sarah tiptoeing through the background. She was very, very quiet, but very, very obvious.
But like a cartoon villain with the hands up.
Yes, with the hands up, yes. Or Dracula himself.
Oh, God.
But yeah, Hiza comes over and chats with you while you're kind of browsing the stacks, and mentions he's like, the hold of stuff that you found that grimoire in, it didn't happen to have like other stone tablets by chance?
It did not, but it did have a map. So,
did you get a good look at that map?
We got the map.
What could I trade you to have the map?
I mean, we were kind of planning on going to the places and getting the things.
Okay.
I mean, do you want to come?
Well, I'll be honest. If you guys are going to go ahead and go and get it, and you're going to lay
then I don't have to.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where he's going.
Like, well, I mean, if you're going to go anyway.
Right, and he's going, well, I mean, if they're not tied, if they're not Mastigos-y, maybe I really don't care. Well, whatever. They're going to come by the concilium. Everyone's going to pass them around.
He's like figuring out in his head, how much help do I have to offer to get a month with the next
right,
one?
Yeah, exactly. He's worked the math out, and he says, well, okay, well, yeah, when you leave, just let me know and keep me informed. That'd be great.
I mean, do you want to take like a look at it and see if you can maybe get us which one would be a good place to start? Because right now we've got 3 options, none of which seem to stand out as a better choice than the others. Since you can do like scrying on maps, right?
Well, I mean, I can scry on a map and see the map, but I can't I could
reverse scry. You can't just point to a
look
map
at
and go,
what's on the
let me
other
look
side.
here.
I mean, I could use it at like without it being a representation of the place. Like if you had a postcard, then we would get somewhere. But if you've just got a map with like a pin in it,
We just got a map.
yeah, no. I mean, I could look at it. I mean, but what's on it?
It's got 3 spots marked, which are like old
And there,
pyramids.
oh yeah, and on the map though, it's literally just a couple circles around names.
I mean, where that like we had looked into what the things are and we know what's
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff that's there. I out of character told you literally what's there.
Right.
You have the name of 3 places that is circled, but you did come up with that they are like old timey places. But yeah, he goes, I mean, beyond that, unless I was like there, I wouldn't be able to do much. And even then, it kind of depends on where they are. I mean, it could be somebody could have them. They could be buried in, some ancient tomb. They could be in, some seared. I mean, they could all be in seared holds, and they were kept apart for some reason. So,
I mean,
yeah, no,
Wyrd saw the person looking at the map. You get the impression they're trying to get them so that they don't have them yet.
Okay. Though it wouldn't be the first time that seers fought amongst themselves, but I mean, I'm with the logic that maybe they're
Undercovered.
buried somewhere. And like, no. I have responsibilities here. Leaving New York. Leaving New York would be against
It's
like would
Dude, who are you
giving-
trying to convince? Yeah.
Right, yeah. And he
You
goes,
gotta roll against obsession.
yeah. Well, fortunately, these are not related to his obsession. But yes, if they were, you'd have other problems. No, he goes, yeah, no, this is fine. Yeah, just keep me in the loop, and if there's anything I can, if there's some supplies you need, if you need a plane ticket or something, let us know.
Yeah. I might
Okay.
see if you can tell me anything about if we have any records of anything about these places anywhere in our, because you can tap into like our
Oh, the
libraries.
egregor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. He's like, I could do that. Yeah. Actually, I will make you a deal. If you get there and you run into some problems, stuff like that, give me a call. I will see what I can look up, and I just get whatever you find for a week.
That seems fair. I'm okay with
Fabulous.
this. You're basically adding it back into our
Mhm.
knowledge base, so yeah.
He goes, no, that sounds just fine. But yeah, if you, you just, email me a picture of the map or something like that. And I'll, I'll see. Okay. Yeah. And so he kind of, bebops, there's commotion from the other, Mestigos. And he goes off that way. And, then, Shudder, still debating on that pronunciation. This is 90% of making characters, guys, especially you like not yet DMs. When you create a name, make sure you say it out loud in multiple different ways to figure out what your players are going to start using against you, because they will.
Like you might say Benjamin Franklin, but they'll say Steampunk Granddad.
Right. That wasn't even the name. That was just the description. They will turn it on you every time, guys. Anyways, but yeah, Shudder arrives, and you've seen Shudder before. She is Middle Eastern descent. You're not quite sure. Definitely towards the like Egyptian side of things. Kind of darker skin. And every time you've seen her, she is in like she's in business goth. Right, super clean, dark, little gold embellishments here and there, and like not quite power suit, but super, like upscale and stuff like that. Definitely know, probably just from conversation, that she's definitely a master of matter. She got the money because she literally just makes gold.
Yeah.
That's not a problem for her. But yeah, she comes in and heads into the stacks to go look for something or something, whatever. But and imagine you go chase her down or what have you. And she kind of looks at you, and she's got that like British accent from like learning at Oxford kind of thing going on, but still the Egyptian kind of thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. That kind of, it's a little bit of a stereotype. I apologize. Is what happens when I have to
a little bit of like Tahani.
Yes, that exactly. Thank you. By the way, Good Place. Go see it. It's
Watch The Good Place. It's great.
Anyways, shield time over. Comes over and Atratus, right?
Yes.
Cool. What can I do for you? I don't think she says cool. NPCs on the fly. Good.
I've been looking into crafting. Sort of improving matter work because I've mostly been focused on ghosts.
She kind of like, there's this little glance up over your shoulder and then back down to you. You don't say.
Yeah. Anyway, my end goal is to be able to make him a golem so that he can have a body.
That is a impressive goal and slightly concerning, but I mean, you guys have a bond, so and like a couple more glances at Gabe, and
anyway,
but
that's my brother.
Yes, that is how I know of you. I'll be frank, I don't agree, but so long as you are working it out, then so be it. I'm not one to judge, but a golem for him to just have. Okay. Sure. That's actually fairly, I'm not gonna say simple, but
I know I'm not
doable.
I'm not there yet, but that is what I want to work towards.
I see. And well, how can I help you?
Looking just for any sort of advice or help you can give me on making things.
Okay.
I've worked on a few things. Shaping mostly. I've made a few little knickknacks out of things that I have liquefied.
Rip chair. The puddle that is, I imagine that puddle is now like a centerpiece on like the kitchen table because it matches everything else.
Unless it's seeped into the floor or something and you have to rip up.
No, I imagine it's far more viscous than that. But she nods. She's like, okay, well, I have a few minutes before I need to really dig into anything. She kind of motions for like one of those nice plush chairs with a table. It's a very nice little sitting spot. And out of character, what is there something mechanical that you're looking for, or is this you starting to like experiment and just play and figure out what you can do, kind of thing?
Just sort of like in character, sort of practice and playing and seeing what I can do.
Gotcha. So I think over the course of probably a couple hours, she and you basically tweak and play with a bunch of stuff, little knickknacks, and like you have a little paper clip that is like rearranged and reshaped and gone back to being like, unlike real world, actually making a paperclip back to the original paperclip shape, even and straight, stuff like that. And then, she kind of flexes a little bit and, turns the paperclip to pure gold for a little bit. And then it, dispels and stuff like that. But if there's anything you actually want to discuss and talk about, we can do that. But out of character, I'm like, I don't know what.
I was just looking for making progress towards my obsession.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Taking some time learning, especially because I imagine while she's trying to show you all this stuff, you keep going back to the golem
Mhm.
and she's like begrudgingly,
But how does
you
this help
know.
me make
Mhm.
person thing?
Right. Yeah, and it's definitely begrudging. You can definitely tell she does not like the idea of like a golem that is for a ghost to use. That she has some problems. And over the course of the discussion, you can definitely tell for her, ghosts are definitely people or entities, but to her, they're on the level of like animals and pets. Like you
Sees them
don't
more as like tools, things you can use.
right, and you respect them, you care for them, but they, they have to be kept from their own decisions. You have to keep them on a leash, so to speak. And yeah, so she definitely has some very different feels on how to handle ghosts. But she doesn't. She's not like, oh, I'm just going to eat ghosts or anything like that. But yeah, she's a little bit more dismissive of them.
I do want to bring up the Phantasm Society to her, though, the Sin Eaters.
I have read about them. Her gaze kind of moves over to like a rack, a very, very small rack of the few writings that you guys had found previously about Sin Eaters.
Oh, we know more than that now. We've met them and chatted and been to their parties.
Interesting. And they hang with, and you like the oddness, hang with ghosts and entertain them.
Some of them literally.
They're bonded to an entity.
Bound indeed, yes.
Which makes them effectively immortal. I get the impression some of them might not like that very much. Maybe they don't like the deal they made.
Immortal can't die. Yeah. It's.
But they have a setup in a cemetery. They take care of the ghosts there. That's have
good.
Parties for them where they feed them. They can do things that we can't. It allows them to have free reign for several days. Like, they can leave. Gabe's gone off traveling.
The ghosts can.
Yes. They get several days of just freedom, kind of.
That's a little bit concerning. And this is the same place that Titus went to?
Yes.
Okay.
That ghost was... They take useful ones and use them to make items.
Fetishes.
Yeah, that sounds
and
like...
And that ghost was intended to be an item, but we kind of ruined that for them.
I see. Okay, well, at least by ruining, you utterly destroyed it. Okay. You can definitely see she is a little on the not perturbed side. She's definitely concerned now hearing about this. And she says, and so where are they? You said they have a cemetery somewhere?
It's New Jersey. Yeah, that's where they are.
Okay.
They're nice
do you remember
they've got
the specific cemetery where they're at?
No. It was a cemetery.
Unfortunate. Okay.
But yeah,
please don't tell this woman this.
No. They've apparently got the end goal of like fixing up part of the underworld so the ghosts can have a nice place to go live.
That is rather
lofty goals.
Altruistic of them. Lofty as well, but yeah, very altruistic.
I mean, it's not entirely altruistic. It's kind of self-serving. Their entities are things that crawled their way out of the underworld because it sucked. So they're trying to go make it better.
I guess that is not entirely altruistic. Okay. But yeah, quite lofty. I don't even know how you would begin.
I don't either, but they have ideas, I guess. So until then, they're hanging out here and taking care of the ghosts and building up their, I guess,
crew.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they can go take on the underworld. Good for them. Good luck.
Good for them indeed. And she kind of looks at her, acting like she wears a watch. Come on, this is 21st century. She pulls out her phone, goes, I do need to leave. I appreciate this time talking with you. I always enjoy teaching new Moros. I hope I gave you at least some insight into what you might be getting into with making a golem. But I do need to depart. My cabal is going to be meeting shortly.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And she gets up and heads off to one of the little small like meeting room type places that you've seen and used before. Cool. Anything else real quick before we go to the break?
Wyrd's got a spell.
Somebody's casting something. I recognize that sound.
Yep.
We're casting something with time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What are we casting there, Craig?
I'm casting, I wanted sort of a modified momentary flux.
Which
with the mage time attainment. I want to know if it was a good idea that we killed that mage.
Gotcha. Okay, so let me see here. Momentary flux. Is that a 1-dot?
It's a 1-dot.
Okay, so
I want to modify it from the written description slightly because it's like whether interacting with somebody is going to be good or bad.
Okay, so let me reread this thing. Blah, blah, blah. It can sense whether a subject... Well, bear in mind, the subject does not necessarily need to be a person. It could be an action.
Okay.
You just have to decide what you're talking about. Can cast a spell as themselves is the only whether or not their own actions will help or harm them, which is such a good use. May use this to cast on a subject in the past. The spell still reveals positive or negative outcomes. Okay, so you would need Songbird.
Because I'm the one that killed them.
Mm-hmm. Or even Atratus. You had very little hand in casting, because you still have to cast on the subject, and you do not have the subject currently at hand. You don't have sympathetic casting.
Right.
So yeah, definitely a doable thing. I'm on board with the idea that you've got. But yeah, you would need Songbird on hand, well, actually, which mage were you talking about? Thanatos or Mashta?
Mashta.
Okay, yeah, you'd have to have Songbird on hand,
Songbird.
because whether or not his action is going to be good or bad. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it was his action for both of them, right?
Well, you also shot, so he could use that kind of as a similar thing. What if Atratus hadn't shot him? Hadn't shot his ass. Yeah. So that'll be something. Now that said, I have no problem like saying you guys meet up and
you can do that.
Do so.
I have things I have to do first.
Right. But yeah, later. But that'll be something that you'll probably need to talk to Songbird when you start to cast on him, because he's going to go, what?
Sure.
Why are you making those funky finger motions there, Wyrd? Cool. Oh, yes, Hurricane. Cool. I think right here we're good. I think when we get back, Songbird, you're going to do your... Yep. Okay, cool. Because I'm excited for that. And fingers crossed. Okay, so those of you in Twitch, hang out in chat. Actually, not in chat. Come by on Discord. Give us episode ideas. That's always fun. For everybody, come hang out on Discord because it's fun. Anyways, and we will see you next time. We're going to go on our quick little break. Join us on Discord. Follow, like, subscribe. Half off for September. Check out the Kickstarters. They're going to be on the pre-roll. I think I've got it fixed. And then, yeah, I'm good.
Have a good fucking day.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time.
Right.
Bye.
Stay
Stay
lucky.
lucky.
I was like, are we not going to say it?